let's talk about what Devin Haney should do next. A lot of talk about the weight. A lot of talk about Shakir Stevenson. A lot of talk about Tank Davis. A lot of talk about high risk, low reward at 140 pounds. Some people say maybe you should go up there and fight, Jose Ramirez as a tune-up. All those guys up there are like Jose Ramirez. I don't think the dudes at 140 pounds are the most skilled fighters, but I think they're the most rugged. It's a really, really rugged division. And when you go up, I don't really think it's about being educated going up. I don't even think it's about picking the right opponent. I think Catterall might be, and Sandor Martin might be one of the more, the boxing fans say skillful fighters up there. Catterall got great long jab, great timing, great position, very calm, guy, right? I think Josh Taylor kind of turned into a guy that's kind of got complacent listening to him. He's kind of at the place where Devin Haney at 35, but the difference is 47 got a lot of money there, but it's constipated at the top. So I go up there and I gotta get in line and wait on Spencer Crawford with it like they ain't fighting. Some bull job, So it's not worth me taking the risk if I'm not gonna get a title, get those big money fights. But weight wise, him and Haney the same way. So I break down 140 first since I already started. So Ramirez is a dangerous fight for Devin Haney, because Ramirez if you can't hurt Ramirez, he gonna just walk through you. He high stamina, aggressive fighter. Kind of got 2 left feet though, but he can be outboxed. But you gonna have to set the tone on Jose Ramirez. That's the thing about it. But I think that's an interesting introductory fight. It'll be a good fight for Ramirez. It's gonna sell on the West Coast for sure. But he tough, because if you ain't acclimated at the weight, he tough. That means Devin Haney conditioning got to be on perfect. He can't fade. You can't fade versus Ramirez. If you start fading and fall into the ropes versus Ramirez, he'll take you out. He got power. He just don't really have the balance and the skills to be there. And that's like most guys at 140 pounds. Josh Taylor, one of them dudes, man. Of late, since he left Shane McGuinness, he ain't been looking so skilled. He just trying to really just walk through everybody. And he taking a lot of punishment doing so. Sabril Matias, he take a lot of punishment, but the thing about it is, he take a lot of punishment, but if you can't hurt that dude, he gonna walk right through you if you don't keep nothing off of you. So you got, you really gonna have to really step it up fighting a guy like him. Regis Prograis, he good fighter, rough, rugged, not the most skillful guy in the world, but he rough and rugged. You gonna have to really outbox him and avoid the punishment. So, but a lot of them dudes can be outpointed up there, but the thing about it is a lot of them dudes willing to put their chin on the line to win, and that, that's a good thing and a bad thing. A lot of them dudes up there rely on their chin. So, then you got guys like Richard Hitchison. He one of the more skillful guys up there, but he got to prove himself. He gonna be fighting Montello Love, July 15th at the Masonic Temple in Detroit. So that'd be interesting. So him going up to 140, he instantly the money man there. He had to pick his litter, and obviously he probably more than likely gonna want to get in there with Teofimo Lopez, another fellow 135 pounder. Ramirez would be a good introductory fight. Tough. That ain't no. You going straight to the deep end with that one, but maybe he might talk himself into a Rolly fight. I doubt he messed the church's money up with Tank and Ryan. So it's a good division. It's one of the divisions where it's high risk, low reward in there. A lot of those dudes don't have notoriety, but he could outbox most guys up there. But the question is, can he keep them off of him? And that 5 pounds is gonna be big for him. But him holding his ground at 140 a lot more I think it's going to be a mixture of holding his ground and moving. I mean, at 35, his last fight with Loma. It's going to have to be, a mixture of holding his ground and boxing, and then continuing to tighten up that defense. I think that's the case. But yeah, 35 obviously it's the more luxurious fights, the bigger money fights. But one may think that most of those guys gonna be at 40 and maybe even at 147. But if you about building a legacy right now, you about building it. So only he knew how that weight cut went. So only he knew how that weight cut went. But he moving. You can tell they doing what they supposed to do in these cuts, and his physical nutrition with Victor Conte, whatever he laying out, it's working. Because in the Camboso fights, he said he didn't have a chef and all that. He looked off balance, but he held his ground. He looked like a better fighter versus Lomachenko, and now, going to Shakur Stevenson, I favor Shakur 60-40 for sure. But he could be done. 40, like I said, I see how Devin look at 40, whatever. But one thing about Shakur Stevenson fight, what I seen about him when he fought that Jeremiah Nicotina guy that nobody really talk about is, he struggled versus that bigger African. When that African hurt him, he didn't want he went into safe mode. So you gotta think about that too. He can be hurt, he can be beat. He used to being a bigger guy in those fights, and he developed some bad habits. I seen it in the Valdez fight where he got bored in there, and I think he'd be sharp at 35, but he could be beat. He could be beat. So everybody already preordaining him, but all they do is take one uncomfortable moment, and it could just be a rite of passage most people to jump off that bandwagon. It's gonna take time, but yeah, obviously that's an interesting fight. Devin Haney said the right time, so right now obviously they're not doing it, but also her Top Rank wasn't interested in making that fight neither. So they're not interested in that fight right now. So I don't know when or where. I think they may have a different plan for Shakur. They might have a different plan for Devin, but they sure trying to serve Devin up Teofimo if he beats Josh Taylor. They trying to make Teo and Devin. I think Josh and Devin too, they trying to make. So they both used to share Van Davidson as a trainer, so they know each other. But Taylor's just so much the bigger man than him. It's hilarious. But then again, he killing himself to make the weight, and he regressing. I think he getting complacent. But yeah, I mean, Shakur, that's a good fight. I mean, he comfortable with the way he looked way better at 35 physically. I mean, he looked dynamic, speed, power. So he on the uptrend. He growing into the weight, and Devin growing out of the weight. So naturally, for me personally, that's gonna give him a huge advantage over Devin Haney. And on top of that, I think he more skilled. But then Devin then went through the trenches. Devin then went through the rite of passage. Devin then went through adversity. Devin then went through a better resume. Even though Shakur been through two weight classes, he wasn't able to cross the street and get Gary Russell. He wasn't able to cross the street and get a Tevin Farmer. He wasn't able to cross the street and get Leo Santa Cruz. He wasn't able to get those top tier fights, Ray Vargas, guys like that. So he wasn't able to get those type of fights. So Devin then sought out the tough fights. You only gonna get better from that, and adding body punching to his game. And people say, well, you need to throw more combinations. Who you seen throw combinations versus Lomachenko for real? I was saying the same thing watching the fight. Like, damn, he need to throw more combinations. But Lomachenko, it's a risk. It's a risk. But yeah, and then a lot of people want to talk about the Tank Davis fight, and that's cool. That's cool. I mean, my thing is this. Don't push for. Don't want to push, Devin and Shakur towards each other, but then again, you don't want to push Tank, because Tank was the Reggie belt holder for longer than Devin Haney was. I mean, longer than, Shakur been the mandatory. Shakur just got the mandatory shot, and Tank been holding on to that Reggie belt, and they ain't forced him to do shit with it. So if you want to push, if you want to push Devin to 40, or you want to push Devin, Shakur, Stevenson, to each other, then put Tank Davis in there too. Why ain't he required to fight one of them? You see a lot of Tank Davis fans, using Shakur Stevenson as a body shield. That's one thing that I hate about boxing today. A lot of these fans like to use different fighters as body shields. Why not? Why y'all don't want to see the top fights? What's wrong with Shakur and Devin Haney fighting? What's wrong with Tank and Shakur fighting? What's wrong with Tank and Devin Haney fighting? What's wrong with it? You can see it across, American sports. I don't can really speak on American sports. That's all I watch. Is these dudes ain't competitive no more, bro. These dudes ain't competitive no more. And that's what it is. These dudes don't want to compete no more. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. But, I don't understand why Gervonta Davis wouldn't fight Devin Haney. The majority of people think he would beat Devin Haney at 35. Other than that, they think otherwise. And then ain't no issue with Bob and Eddie. Ain't no issue because Devin Haney's a free agent. So I don't see that being the issue, but it is what it is, man. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. That subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live or drop video financially. Want to support the channel? Cash App $CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. Cash App $CJ Good 313. Venmo CJ Good 313. PayPal link in description. The link tree. Find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TikTok, the whole nine. Appreciate the love and support. Peace.